Although Shaco is well known as an early game AD jungler, running AP support grants him the ability to roam at any time, using both his boxes and his clone to apply pressure to the entire map. He also counters hook champions, relying on his boxes to block the ability. Sounds pretty awesome. So what runes are we taking? Our first rune page is Comet. Comet provides reasonable damage, and because of Shaco's extremely slow kit rotations, it'll usually be up for each play you make and punish your enemies for every box they step on. Mana Flow Band is a necessity since Shaco has an extremely low early game mana pool and his abilities are quite expensive. Transcendence provides nothing to you early game, but amps your late game by providing increasing levels of cooldown reduction. After level 11, takedowns will refund 20% of the cooldown on your basic abilities, which is massive on Shaco. The next rune is mostly up to preference. If you find yourself constantly roaming and making plays around the map, Water Walking is an excellent rune. If you feel like you need a little oomph for early game, take Scorch. If you want to increase your chances of winning the longer a game drags on, then take Gathering Storm. On our second half of the rune page, we take Magical Footwear. It saves us 300 gold and grants us 10 extra speed over normal boots. Lastly, we have Biscuit Delivery. Shaco lacks health and mana early, and this rune really helps make up for the deficiencies. The lower you are, the more your biscuit will heal you. Our second rune page is the more aggressive First Strike. Shaco dishes out most of his damage almost immediately and can engage without worrying about being damaged first. Early game, this means that if you can focus on waiting for each rotation of First Strike, you can gain an extra 10 plus gold on top of your sport item quest gold each time you hit your lane opponent with E. Between the 9% bonus damage and the free gold, this rune is excellent for scaling faster. We take Cosmic Insight for the summoner spell Haste, then have Magical Footwear, Biscuit Delivery, Mana Flow, and Transcendence, just like our other page. Both pages run 2 adaptive force tokens and 1 armor. Now that we've got the basics, let's talk about our bag of tricks. In team fights, your primary goal is to confuse and disrupt the enemy team. Engaging invisible and dropping boxes behind them, or using your clone's detonation to CC multiple enemies. You can even set up for team fights by placing boxes around the objective you're contesting or blocking off routes with multiple boxes. You can peel your team by simply dropping a box for them to hide behind. Shaco's Q allows him to make plays no other champion can do. Backdooring the enemy's base becomes a breeze. Simply wait for the enemy team to be distracted, then Q into their base. This works incredibly well in lower elos, as players are the least likely to check their minimaps or pay attention to positions. Many open nexuses have been plundered by a sneaky Shaco. Shaco's ult creates a clone of himself, bringing along any debuffs or buffs applied to him, as well as the effects of any items. You can control the clone by pressing your ultimate again, but if the clone passes a certain range from you, it will teleport back to your current location. This simple mechanic can lead to some amazing utility. Run into a bush and then have the clone snap back to you from somewhere else, then leave the bush. Most players will jump right on the clone with no second thoughts. If your enemy is low and hiding under turret, you can also use your clone as a homing bomb, sending it under the turret at them. The second the clone begins to attack the enemy, it'll take turret aggro and pop, dealing damage to anyone caught in the blast. When you activate your ultimate, Shaco will disappear for a brief instant from the game. This allows you to dodge incoming spells, crowd control, or prevent the damage from a Fizz ultimate or a Caitlyn ultimate from hitting you. Activating your ultimate while a turret shot is incoming will also cancel the incoming projectile. If you find yourself in a skirmish you can't win but also can't escape from, you can continue to attack your opponent while ordering your clone to run away. Despite how simple this trick is, it is one of the strongest in Shaco's toolkit. The last tip I leave you with is to always have a safe exit. Many deaths are preventable by simply putting a box or two in your escape route and punish them for following you. Thank you for watching this Shaco guide. If you enjoyed this content, remember to like and subscribe so I can continue to afford my internet bill.